Bonjour. Now, I am feeling a collective that is very down right now. Kind of, not a hopelessness, but just a feeling of not feeling like anything's bad's happening, but nothing good's happening either, and just feeling stuck and quite flat. So let's get into it, see if we can shift this energy. What is this a message about, please, angels? What do your angels need you to know right now? They'll be back, expect you soon. So perhaps as well, part of the reason you're feeling down and flat is because if you've been in separation from someone and they're heavily on your mind, if it's been a long time since you've heard anything from them or heard about them at all, you could be just feeling, actually, you know what? This is feeling like a you versus them. So right now, from what you can see, there's no movement. So it's making you feel really heavy and flat and starting to second guess, wondering, is it really over? Actually, let's do that. Is it really over? So let you versus them, but is it really over? So they'll be back. Expect to hear from them soon. This is what's around you right now in your energy. So I don't think this person has come back in yet. I think you're wondering if they even will ever come back. You might be questioning, is this person ever coming back? But they're saying they'll be back. Expect to hear from them soon. Moving, change of residence, moving in with your partner. Immediately when I saw that as well, I had a week or so ago, I had a lot of collectives where it was like your person has moved closer to where you are. You just don't know that yet. So there could be distance here, but this is change of residence and moving in with your partner. Another detail could be that you actually lived with this person and it caused quite an upheaval in your life when you had to move out. Distance. So you're at a distance from this person. That could be part of why you feel like maybe I'm crazy, maybe this person isn't coming back because they live at a distance from me. How could we ever make this work again after how it ended before? This person, you will be traveling soon. So there's physical distance between you and this person. I believe a detail is that perhaps in your previous connection, you moved in together quite quickly and things moved quite quickly, and then your life kind of blew up, so to speak, when you had to go your separate ways because you might have had to move for this person, so on and so forth. But these are the things that are connected to this person. So as well, the person connected to you could be going through these details too, wondering if it's really over between you two, really going over the details of how things ended in the past, how the living situation could be changing. But I just heard closing the gap. So someone is definitely closing the gap physically. Whatever the physical distance is, there's something coming to light that you don't know of yet where that physical distance is being closed. They'll be back. Let go, make room for the new beginning on its way to you now. So right now, it could even be that's why you're feeling so flat and also really kind of down, depressed even, that things might really be over between you and this person, that you can't see how it would ever come back together again because so much time has passed. But your angels are asking you to let go, because once you do, and let me just say quickly, when people say to let go, that is the most irritating thing in the world. Trust me, I get it. But they're saying when you release this resistance and this need to know when it's going to happen, and just trust that good things are coming for you. This feeling you're in right now isn't going to stay that way. Moving. Whoa. Yeah, give it time, patience. Good things come to those who wait. Open up your heart. It will help you attract more love. Hang on. All right, so you've got, I think that came out first. So under moving, you've got give it time, everything in divine timing, let things flow. So as well, because there's physical distance here, if this is going to reunite, we will break it down, but if this is going to reunite, you need to, there needs to be time for this to develop again and for, again, the distance to be closed. It's not as if you have a conversation today and then tomorrow they've moved over. You know what I mean? Like it's gotta, you need to give it time and let things flow naturally. And under distance, you've got open up your heart. It will help you attract more love. To me, that just confirms that your heart is with someone that you're at a distance from, and that is why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Quite flat, quite, I just suddenly felt like I'm gonna cry. So you're really feeling low about this. Hang on. All right, so I just needed to compose myself. That came on really quick. Like I got choked up in my throat because I just felt like I was gonna cry and it just came rushing on. So I think for you right now, they're asking you to trust in divine timing essentially, and that don't close your heart off to this person. Don't close off the idea that even though so much time has passed here and you feel like you've been waiting forever to know what's gonna happen, to not close off your heart, because something good is about to come in. Because this is what you don't know. It's the energy that's around you. This is what your angels are saying. You don't know this right now. This is what the actual situation is, not what your overthinking mind is telling you. And then on the bottom, you've got gambling. So perhaps gambling was an issue in your connection in the past. Either that or some form of addiction, whether it's substances, alcohol, or it could just be problems with bad finances. Maybe that is a detail that was an element, especially with this moving and this distance. If the ending of this created some real financial losses for you, where you had to not just move away but start all over again, could have lost a job, friends, whatever, like you really had to rebuild from this, but for whatever reason your heart is still with this person. But they're saying let go. You need to go with the flow and let things come in as they're supposed to come in. So let's find out what's really going on. What is really going on for this collective, please? What is really going on for this collective, please? What don't they know? Okay, soulmates. Axe, yeah, so the way that this breakup happened was very harsh. You felt abandoned by this person, and it's making, for a long time you saw this person as your soulmate, but perhaps because of the way that this ended and the time here and the physical distance, it's making you wonder, is this a karmic partner, not twin flame or a soulmate? Is my heart just still stuck on them because it's a trauma bond? Is it, have I not done enough healing? Is that why I still feel attached to this person? Your head is so in between thinking they're a soulmate or are they a karmic, and you flip-flop between the two because this person abandoned you, and immediately this is also about silent treatment. So the way that this ended was quite harsh. Addiction, there you go. So addictions were a problem here. And that's another part of why you go back and forth in your mind about whether this is a karmic situation or a soulmate connection, because you are like, if someone loved me, they wouldn't rip my heart out like this, but that still doesn't make you stop believing or having hope that they still are your person. I think you go back and forth between the negativity to try and get over them with, no, I love this person. If it's meant to be, it'll come back in. You keep going between the two. And now I think you're going through a really low period where you're just like, is this ever going to come back around? You're obsessive thinking over this, but this person also had some, this person definitely had some kind of addictions, whether it was gambling, whether it was drinking, whether it was substances, but there was addictions definitely clouded this connection in the past. Self-indulgence. So because of the harshness of this, it really put you in, I want to say you probably went into a painful, deep depression after this, especially because you felt abandoned, and especially because this person just cut you off coldly. So it forced you to really go within and do a lot of self-work and work on your shadows. You really had to take a long time to heal. And again, the time here, I just keep hearing time. It's been a long time here since there's been any communication with this person. So you're feeling very, the feelings are coming up for you again about, you might have been feeling okay and like you were starting to get over it. And so you're wondering now why all these feelings are coming up for you again. Have I done enough work on myself? Do I still have self-worth issues? Healing is a lifelong thing. It's not something you'll just get over and be fine the next day. It's something you continually do. Just like when triggers come up, you learn how to cope with them better the next time. And that's how you learn and grow. So I just heard, don't beat yourself up. It's not the end of the world. Don't beat yourself up. It's not that you haven't done enough work on yourself or that you haven't healed enough. These feelings are coming up for a reason. Karmic relationship. I think this is what you think is going on. So yes, I said what is really going on, but I believe that this is the universe saying, that deck, what came out in that deck, that's what's going on. This is what you think is or this is what your mind is overthinking about. You're heavily going over the way things ended here. And if you're crazy, and whether this person is your soulmate or are they a karmic, and you're going over the things that were toxic in the connection in the past, and you've been trying really hard to heal from it. Karmic relationship. Okay, so coffin, endings bring new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, transition. I think these feelings that you're stuck in right now is you going through a transition, and also that's part of your overthinking mind too, thinking maybe when this ended before, as harsh and painful as it was, you thought, okay, this has to end right now, but that doesn't mean we can't have a future together later. But when so much time goes by, you start to question yourself and doubt your intuition when it comes to this person. All right. Let's just get straight into how this person views you. How does this person at a distance view you? This person that is on your heart right now. How do they view you? How do they feel about you? What's their perspective? Mother wounds, healing. So they definitely saw you as in the connection before, that there was definitely some wounding that came from perhaps your relationship with your mother, and also maybe it brought up wounding in them for their relationship with their mother too. Wounded feminine straight after mother wounds. So they definitely see you as having perhaps some toxic traits, I just heard, as well as toxic behaviors maybe, because of like defense mechanisms that you develop because of the way your parents treat you growing up. I think they're viewing you as that's where this wounded feminine comes from, someone that's bitter and petty and jealous and vindictive. That's how they're viewing this, that brings out that wounded feminine in you, because you're lacking self-worth. Focus, distractions, reevaluate, attention. That's interesting. Rage under mother wounds. So they actually think that the rage, you either have repressed rage or you're someone that goes from 0 to 100 with your rage. So the way they're feeling about you right now is perhaps the perception that they had of you when things ended. Divine Masculine under Wounded Feminine. I actually think that because this is how they feel about you. So at first I was thinking, oh God, this isn't going to make you feel any better. But it's almost like I'm seeing how they viewed you and how you've changed. So you've got Divine Masculine here to confirm Wounded Feminine. So they can see you in your masculine energy. So whatever it is you're doing or posting or whatever, they can see some kind of go-getter in you where you're pursuing something actively and you look confident doing it. Because the Divine Masculine is secure and confident, and he pursues what he wants. He locks in and he goes for what he wants. And that's how they're viewing you right now. So to go from Wounded Feminine to seeing you as a Divine Masculine, it's very good, because it means that they see that you actually are taking care of your own business, whether you run a business but just taking care of business in your life, and you look stable and focused. And maybe that's the focus here, is that you look like you look very focused in what you're doing right now. You're not easily distracted, and all your attention is on whatever it is you're pursuing at the moment. Focus. Intimacy, intensity. So I'm actually seeing this, that they've got a very, they're very focused on you right now. I think they're feeling a magnetic pull towards you. They're feeling very, the chemistry that you two share is something that's pulling them back in. Hang on, water. So their feelings for you are very deep, but they could also be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or you could be. But water is emotions, and I think they have these deep, intense emotions for you. They're very, I think the things that they were distracting themselves with since your separation is no longer working, and they're hyper focused on you right now. Trauma, overwhelmed, isolation, heaviness. So there's a lot of wounding here when this person thinks of you. I think part of it is trauma from your life up till meeting this person. And then I also just heard they're going over the trauma that they caused you. So in this relationship, like I was saying before with addictions and toxic behaviors, perhaps when they're thinking of you as well, they're going over the way they treated you and how they probably put more trauma into your soul instead of easing it. It's like a combination of your toxic traits with the guilt and remorse of what kind of trauma they added to your plate as well. But you're someone that gets very overwhelmed quickly. And it's like they still feel this heaviness when it comes to this connection. And perhaps that's why you're feeling heavy. Reincarnation, but they really feel like you two came together for a reason, that potentially you've shared past lives together, but they see you as home. So this is a very, it's still kind of, I'm surprised that we got expect to hear from them soon, because looking at this, it's very, not because they don't love you, they see you as home. I just heard want to come home to you. But you've got mother wounds, wounded feminine, trauma, rage. I think, unless this is how they're feeling. Yes, I said, how does this person feel towards you? But I'm actually seeing this as perhaps they're actually reevaluating their life right now. And it's really bringing up some things for them. Maybe the feelings they have for you bring up these emotions in them. They're going over the mother wounds that they have. The way that they were in Wounded Feminine, treated you out of Wounded Feminine, jealous, possessive, controlling, bitchy even. Those are the toxic traits that came out in them when they think of this connection. And they're really reevaluating everything, and kind of their attention's heavily on you though. I do think that they're going over the trauma that they've caused you here. So if there was a few cycles with this person, they're really going over, they might even be thinking each time you two tried again, the cycle got worse, I just heard. Their rage is a problem here as well. And for that to confirm mother wounds, it could be that they had a lot of repressed rage because of mother wounds that came out when they were with you. Because in mirrored connections, you will bring out the wounds in each other. You will reflect. Okay, so for example, if you were someone that when you were upset or anxious or overwhelmed, you kind of tend to isolate. Like, look at this card. She's down on the floor, her knees, tucking her knees into her chest, holding herself, trying to self-soothe. So if you were someone that reacted that way to conflict, or if any time you felt like the mood changed or your person was acting funny, that's how you would react. You'd go within yourself, you would isolate, and you would react out of your trauma that you already had, and you might have been a crier and have panic attacks, things like that. When you would go into that mode, it brought out their repressed rage. So instead of soothing you in that moment, helping you through the panic attack and telling you everything's okay and soothing the situation, they would inflame it, because if their mother wounds were, if they grew up having to protect their mother from their father, whatever the situation is, and they look at females crying as a manipulative tactic, when you would act out of trauma in your way of crying or isolating, that sort of thing, they were reminded of their mother wounding and thinking that women cry to manipulate. So they looked at you like you were being manipulative, when really that was your genuine fear and pain coming out. That's your trauma response. Their trauma response, and I'm not saying it's right, but their trauma response is to lash out in anger, perhaps attack your character, because in their mind, their trauma is telling me, you're trying to manipulate me with your tears, and that triggers them. And then perhaps their rage towards you was traumatic for you. Does that make sense? I hope so. But this person is heavily focused on these issues right now, and I think it's weighing them down. They're feeling very heavy when it comes to you, because I think they're having light bulb moments. They're realizing that even if the women in their life, like as in family members growing up, did use emotions to manipulate them, that doesn't mean that's what you're like. That, especially if there's been a lot of time here, they're waking up to the realization that the manipulation within their own family does not mean that everyone else is like that, and that your tears, your anxiety, your upset was a trauma response from what you grew up with. So if your parents fought a lot and your dad or mum were emotionally, physically abusive, so when things feel uneasy or you don't feel safe, you retreat and you cry or whatever, and then their rage then added to that trauma because it took you back to your childhood. You see where I'm going with this? So their trauma is feeling manipulated, and your trauma is, say, being screamed at, abused in some way. And same with this person too, because they have that whole rescue, I have to rescue my family all the time, and they cry to get their way, and I never get heard, and it's like a storm waiting to happen. They're having all these realizations, knowing that they were acting out of a wounded feminine place. They weren't in their masculine energy. And as well, if they're viewing you as being in your masculine, you're being that go-getter, you're pursuing things and you're looking good and you look secure, even though you're not feeling it, what they can see, you look like you're stable and you're doing well. You look like you're in your divine masculine. And they're having all these epiphanies about their mother wounds that they have, that they need to heal. That they acted out of wounded feminine when it came to you, how it activated their rage, and how them repressing their emotions all the time ends up manifesting in a really toxic conflict style, where it brings out the rage in them, and it's almost like they can't control it, and then that scares them, but then they blamed you because they're so used to being able to bottle up their feelings. But when they were with you, it came out of them. So you got the blame. They're realizing all this. Sorry, it's just coming out of me. They're realizing all this, and the intensity of this connection added fuel to the fire. That whole, I love you so much, this has too much control over me. What if I lose this person? I've got to get away. I've got to run. This person, very heavy heart right now. They have a very heavy heart. I don't think this is negative in the sense of they just think that you're... At first, when the cards were coming out, I was thinking, oh, this isn't going to be fun, because I just thought this person does not see you in a good light. But on reflection, I really feel like they're heavily burdened by memories right now of how they treated you and why they treated you that way, as in having realizations about their own trauma, their own wounding, and the way they act out because of it, the way they handle conflict because of it, and the way they handled you in the relationship and how unhealthy it was. They're very focused on all those details right now, and it's making them feel like shit. So heavy. And that might be why you're feeling like, why the hell am I feeling so crap today or the last few days, so heavy, when there's nothing actually going wrong in my life? Everything's fine. Why do I feel so horrible? This is why, because you're picking up their energy. Yeah, they ran. They see you as home, but they ran from their home because they didn't like the reflection they saw of themselves when they would lash out at you. And I think as for a long time as well, with these distractions and say addictions, they use that to distract themselves from the truth of the situation, which is that they really needed to do some serious work. Okay, just quickly, I want to get message cards, and then we'll like really break this down, because it's the universe is saying expect to hear from them soon, but if they're in that heavy energy, I don't really see a reuniting energy here. But let's see what this person wants to say to you. I'm starting to panic. It's been so long since I've seen you or heard your voice. Again, the time here. It's been a long time. I've started to notice too, with my collective readings, each week there seems to be a pattern in the readings. So like a few weeks ago, where it was like there was a lot of readings about someone being at a distance and needing to move. So this actually might be that collective again. I'm going to put a ring on it when the time is right. So this person definitely wants to lock it down with you. So if there is physical distance, because it came out in that first deck, this person has to make some big changes in their life to come towards you. I was hiding my true feelings from you because I was scared of commitment and I didn't want to lose my freedom. So that also reminds me too of when in the connection before, if they made promises of you to you of forever, or they talked about let's start a family, let's buy a house, or let's just start a business. It might have even proposed to you and promised marriage. It's not that they didn't mean those promises, but they were nowhere near in a place to be offering that to you, because they clearly had some issues that they weren't facing yet. So they ran from the connection because it got way too intense. They didn't like they didn't like the behavior that came out of them from the connection. So they ran. And they could have also made out to you since this that they had no desire to ever they might have even believed they had no desire to ever get back together with you as well. I'm learning how to love myself now thanks to you, seeing you in your divine masculine, that you look confident and self-assured and you don't seem insecure, even though you're feeling like crap. Like I said, they can't see that. They're just seeing from what they can see, you look like you're confident and you know your worth. And it's teaching them to do the same for themselves, which is nice because it means they're learning from you. You are so smart. You have me figured out. This last one, I'm only staying here for my kids, nothing else. I'm making my way out. So, stalker alert, I check upon you often. There you go. So this is someone that probably looks at your page or your social medias every day, multiple times a day, but it wouldn't be on their main account because then you would know. But I'm staying here for my kids. They might have kids, and that might be exactly what they mean. I'm only staying here for the kids. I'm working my way out. They might be in a karmic situation themselves where there's children involved. But it can also just be a karmic situation in the sense of some kind of interference, whether it's work, friends. They might have family that's financially dependent on them, as in, yes, they might have kids with someone and they're financially dependent. But family that's financially dependent in the sense of a mother, like they got mother wounds, siblings, their siblings, kids, there might be quite a lot of entanglement here, a lot of moving parts where it's like they want to come towards you, but at the moment they're so weighed down, realizing the things that they are broken in them that really need their attention right now, and also being haunted by the memory of how they treated you and how they handled the ending of this, how they abandoned you, how they gave you the silent treatment. They feel very heavily burdened right now. I'm seeing that card of the 10 of Wands. They've got those 10 wands on their back, and they just feel very weighed down right now. But this person wants to marry you. All right, let's get... Actually, no, I want to get these first. Let's get the universe's perspective on what this communication is going to be. Should I get a timing card? We'll see. Number 9. So you're ending a cycle here. Perfect, precise, coded, cold, handled carefully, crystal, design, gentle, fragile, unique, pattern, exquisite detail with the snowflake. I think right now, the coldness, it's like this iciness between you. 1, because it's been a long time, and 2, because you're feeling so low. I think as well this person, the both of you are feeling very isolated from one another, and you're also, this actual connection is in a fragile state right now, especially because you're both feeling so low. Whoa. This card never comes out for me. This is the one twin flame card out of 133 cards in this deck. There's only one twin flame card and you got it. And this is the universe's perspective. So the universe is saying, yes, you are twin flames. This is your divine partner. You're mirroring right now. 1111. This isn't even the twin flame deck. This one is. That one has the 1111 card in it. We are coming into union. This one's just like a kind of a tarot deck. You're balancing your masculine and feminine energies right now. And like I said, you're picking up on their energy. That's why you're feeling so low. And how I got choked up before, I think as well this person, their throat chakra is blocked. They can't express themselves to you right now because they're so burdened by not just their responsibilities as in their family, but they're so burdened by the damage they've caused here that it's making them not even know how to communicate with you. But they're going through an awakening, which is good. They need this activation so that they can open up their heart too. But you're definitely mirroring each other. So if they're feeling burdened by things in their life right now, that's why you would be reminded of the toxic aspects of this connection, but also what's going on in your life right now that you're feeling burdened by. That something ignited in this person. I just heard yesterday. Something happened yesterday with this person that really was like a catalyst to this awakening. So they're very in their feelings today. number 8. Two eights came out together, so you could be 1988 babies, and also the number 33. So number 9, coffin again. That's the second deck that the coffin has come out of. So endings bring new beginnings. Endings had to happen so that a new beginning could happen later when some serious healing was done. But they're feeling very discouraged right now, and this is another card about breakup. They felt very down and out about the ending of this, and they really thought it was over and done. No going back. The ending of this was the ending of this, and they were trying to forget you. But they've never really, even if they've found moments of joy and moments of peace in this separation, and they've had distractions, you were never really that far from their mind. You have the key to their heart, and they have the key to yours. But remember how this is the universe's perspective. This is how they can see what's going on from up above. So the death of this connection, well, it's not really the death of this connection, it's just currently in a stalemate situation. But they're creating this solution. It's like the wheels turning. Things are in motion right now. This person needs to go through this burden of all these emotions and waking up to, activating to what they need to heal, because it's important for their growth and then eventually your reunion. But they're really, they're trying to get both of you to pay attention right now, to break out from these feelings that are weighing you down. It's almost like, okay, these feelings are coming up now. Now's your challenge to see how you can move out of it. Transmute the energy, alchemize it into something else. Do something that's going to lift you out of that low feeling. But they're trying to grant you both a key right now to the next stage of this journey, of this twin flame journey. You could be 33, they could be 33, and also the 8th of September, because this death card, this coffin card is 8 and 9. So 8th of September could be significant, or the 9th of August. Mutable, so either of you could be a mutable sign, which is Virgo, Gemini and Sagittarius, I think. More info needed, maybe. So the end of a season, and that's to confirm the snowflake, which was number 9, and I said you're closing a chapter right now, so it is the end of a season for you. A season, a chapter of this connection, one of the chapters of your separation journey. But through this separation, they're trying to get you to adapt and connect to yourself and to the divine, and trying to get you to see both sides. So how I was explaining to you about how you reacted, say if you were the crier and you would withdraw and you would be anxious, and they were the rage, aggressor in the conflict. In that moment, because you're afraid and you're being triggered by their rage, you're only thinking about how you're afraid, and you're acting out of your trauma with the way you retreat, cry, get anxious, whatever. But being able to see, this isn't to say how they treated you was okay, by the way. It's more to say that seeing both sides. So seeing how the way you react, yes, you become more introverted, but that's your trauma response. Their trauma response was to lash out in anger. And again, doesn't make it right, but just seeing why we behave the way we do, like learning human nature, learning how people handle trauma differently, things like that. It's kind of like when you see people, or like say you're a true, and you watch those documentaries that talk about serial killers, and they'll say how the serial killer had an abusive father growing up, or they had some kind of trauma. And you'd sit there and think, you know what, I've had trauma in my life and I didn't turn into a serial killer. Everyone's story is different because everyone is different. Everyone has a different blueprint. Everyone has different handles experiences differently. Even if you have siblings and you grew up in an abusive home, your siblings have a different perspective to yours. I'll use me for an example. I had that growing up. But my sisters had a different way of coping, where I was the agitator and I didn't want to put up with that crap, and I would not stir the pot, but I wouldn't just pretend everything was okay, whereas my sisters would. And then that I would be treated as though I was the drama queen, or things weren't that bad because it was easier for them to keep the peace. Their perspective was so different from mine. You can all grow up in the same house and have vastly different perspectives. So that's what I mean about how we all handle trauma differently, and we all have different trauma responses. So it's just about understanding both sides of it. But I think as well, that to say, I think your empathy perhaps is what got you in trouble, in the sense that you empathized with their trauma, understanding why they were acting out the way they were. But then instead of still going, I understand you're acting out of trauma right now, but I do not deserve this, and walking away from it, you kind of stayed longer maybe than you should have. It might have even got to the point where they ended it because they saw things getting worse and worse. Big deviation there, but obviously it came to my mind for a reason. All right, twin flames. And remember, if you press down on the screen, you can fast forward. I felt like I had to say that because sometimes my readings go for a while. Actually, most of them go for at least an hour. Twin flames. Number 33. So 33. Look that up, because you've got two cards of 33. So that's an important number. Maybe you met this person when you were 33, or you're 33 now. And yeah, 88 babies perhaps, and also September is important here. But bellows, a catalyst, and what did I say? I feel like something happened yesterday where it was like a catalyst to this person's like having this shocking heart activation where they're having all these realizations and they're in pain right now. They're really feeling it. Whatever happens, it's ignited something in them where they're just kind of in a bit of a spiral right now. And they're going to need to put in a lot of effort towards themselves. So they need to go through this. It's kind of like a dark night of the soul. You're just waking up to a lot of things. It's like when you realize the world's not as it appears to be, and realizing how everyone's so socially programmed by the 1% and all that stuff that you wake up to. They're having so many realizations right now, and it's very heavy on their heart. But it needed to happen. This is all part of the journey. I think their angels and their ancestors right now are really putting them through the fire to forge the person that they are to become. This is all part of the plan. We had that yesterday too, so this might be a bit connected to yesterday's collective as well. The coffin. Number 24, and the letter A could be an initial. Hummingbird, enjoyment, be present. Rapid response, resilient, nectar, sweet goodness, lift out of the negativity, lightness of being. So how I said you're feeling this heaviness and you don't know where the heck it came from because you're just suddenly feeling it, like how I just got that rush of like my throat closed up and I felt like I was going to cry. You're just like, what the F? They're trying to get you to see things differently as well. Like even if you needed this message to tell you, oh, okay, that might explain why I'm feeling so crap. Let me redirect this energy. Let me go out for a walk. Let me do something that will completely take my mind off how low I'm feeling. And then for some reason, I just saw someone gazing at a flame. You know, when you get mesmerized by a candle or whatever, and you just stare at the flame, and then suddenly you break contact with that flame and you forgot anything else that had been on your mind because you'd removed yourself from your mind for a few minutes. Does that make sense? So do something that removes your mind from what's weighing you down right now, because it'll make you feel lighter and you'll be able to see clearly again. All right, key. For that, the letter A is significant here. That's come out two in a row with the letter A. And 10, completion. Neptune, ruler of enlightenment, inspiration. That's the Hanged Man. So things are, like I said before, in stalemate right now. It's not a time for movement. Because if this person's just having a catalytic heart awakening, then it's not the time to make any kind of movement because emotions are heightened. I think this person's seeing through a lot of illusions right now. And this geese here as well is a card about relocation. So part of this could be that the universe is trying to show this person that they have to leave their life behind where they are now to relocate somewhere, and that relocation will be closer to you. But they're trying to get this person to, it's like they pivoted too far off their path and they're being pushed back on a quest again to go towards the person that they're meant to become. And this is also a card of being dependable. And number 14, sorry, I didn't say that, that's number 14, but the letter A, I think, is significant in this. Yeah, like I said, it could be an initial, but things are in motion right now. They're showing this person where they need to be. They're trying to show this person, this is where you need to be. And to know where they're going, which is relocating. This is an important cycle, I think. I just heard hanging in the balance. This person, the Hanged Man is about delays, but I'm not actually seeing this as a delay as in something's coming in between you two. It's more of a delay as in like things can't move forward right now because this is a heavy period. But you're the main focus here. You've got woman on the bottom, number 29. You or the querent, a person you know, girlfriend, fiance, spouse, love interest, feminine energy. I feel like I'm speaking to the feminine energy. But I could be speaking to either of this connection. But this person's going through a disillusionment right now. They could be having very vivid dreams. You could be coming up in their dreams, but they have to go through this enlightenment. And I think as well, this could be activating more of their, psychic abilities. Maybe as well, if you're mirroring, which you are, twin flames, you're because you're picking up on their energy, realizing how attuned your psychic abilities are now. Okay, so let's get these cards, the Twin Flame deck, to see what messages the universe, your angels, your ancestors, their spirit team, what they want to say about this. Then we'll get into tarot. What messages do you have about this connection, please? You could be having trouble sleeping too, or it's like you do sleep but you still wake up tired. That's definitely this person. It's almost like you're waking up as if you went for a run in your dreams. Number 10, again, you're closing a chapter here. Our inner guidance is clear, but our ego is resisting it. Draw another card to clarify what you both might be resisting. Number 5, timing and intentions. Please don't give up on me. I'm trying to change, but it takes time. They are trying to change. They're going through something heavy right now. And I think you're feeling that sense of wanting to give up on this, even though you can't seem to forget about them. You're trying. It's kind of like they distracted themselves for so long from the thought of you, and now the roles are reversed. They're heavily burdened by the damage they've caused here, and you're trying to distract your mind of the thought of them. You've switched roles. Number 10 again. October could be significant too. We must remember that we are gods and goddesses and work to embody that energy, coming into your divine masculine, coming into your divine feminine, balancing the yin, the yang. Number 4, communication. I think that's what they're resisting right now, is the urge to communicate with you, especially because they're feeling pain over what they've done here. So they're like, this person surely doesn't want to hear from me. You think I'm not listening to you, but I am. I hear everything you say and even replay our conversations in my head. So things you said to them, even if at the time it seemed like it went through one ear and out the other, they're replaying a lot of things in their head right now, especially things you said to them. Especially if you called them out about the ways in which they weren't showing up properly in the relationship, or how they were hurting you and they deflected. The 10th of April or the 4th of October are important. The 5th of August or the 8th of May. I'm going through a dark night of the soul. There it is. Nothing in my life is making sense. There you go. It's all been timed out this way. This person is just... I need to shift this energy because it's so heavy. It's too heavy. Oh, 3 for that then. So you've got 1, you've got 7, and you've got 2. So maybe the 10th of January, the 10th of July, and the 10th of February. 1st of October, 2nd of October, 7th of October. So these are all important dates. I'm beginning to focus on my mission, and our connection is part of that. Separated or together, we are working in tandem with each other, mirrors. I want to hold you in my arms and feel our bodies unite as one. Number 11, timing and intentions again. The next solstice or equinox. So the next solar eclipse is the 21st of September. So something significant is going to happen around that time. I will get a timing card actually. The next solstice or equinox will bring an important shift for us. Draw another card to get an idea of what that shift might be. Mainly though, I really think the 10th of April, the 5th of August, and the 10th of January are important dates here. Number 10 again, 10, 10, 10. You could be seeing 10, 10 a lot, but I actually think that this person's going through a rapid fire activation. So it's almost like they're being ripped through this faster than you would have been, because they're awakening, and they're going through the awakening at double the speed you did. I'm afraid you're going to meet someone else before I'm ready to be with you for good. I feel abandoned. I often feel like others let me down. And then what did they do to you? Abandoned you and let you down. But they know that, and they're burdened by it. Okay. Let's see if we can get a timing card, and then we'll get tarot. January. Okay. And next full moon. Is that the 21st of September? Or is that just an eclipse? January is important here. Just a few more months. Good things come to those who wait. Trust in divine timing. Let things flow. So that's still a few months away. So just breathe. Chill. It's not the right time. So when it says that they'll be back, expect to hear from them soon, in our minds, our ego wants that to mean they're going to text me in the next hour. They're going to call me this week. Soon for us is not soon for the universe. That, because time to them is not the same as time for us in the 3D, in this realm, you know. So soon, January still isn't that far. I think because the time here is what's bothering you. There's been a long period of no communication. It's been a long separation. So for you, even if January puts some peace in your soul to know that, just give it till the new year. Things are in motion right now. This person's going through a rapid fire activation, and they need to deal with some shit. But faster than you think. It's not the right time, but faster than you think. And at a special date. So maybe one of those dates I mentioned before are special dates, like maybe birthdays or anniversaries or something. Points of communication. All right. What can this collective expect between now and January, please? So September, October, November, December, January. So we'll do 5 cards. One for each month. Nine of Cups, wishes fulfilled, contentment, pleasure. Empress, number 3, divine feminine, motherhood, nurturing. You could be a mother, but just in general, you have a very you might even get, people might tell, you might be that in your friendship group, for instance. People look at you and you're like the mother of the group, I just heard. But you're just naturally a very nurturing, giving person. All right, 3 more. 12, the Hanged Man. So we've got the Hanged Man again, and the Tower, number 16. I think that this Tower is more of a personal transformation rather than it being a tower as in some kind of something in your life collapses, like a death or finances or a home or some, you know what I mean? Like a physical tower. It's more of a personal, internal tower, emotional tower, where things have to crumble because sudden changes need to happen to make room for a new beginning. So we've got 9 of Cups, the Empress, the Hanged Man, the Tower. That's 3 major arcana in a row. So there is massive changes happening here. Significant changes. But changing your perspective, come out of this need to wait and just trust, because it's causing you a lack of direction, because this person is feeling this lack of direction right now, because they're feeling, they might even feel self-sacrificing in their life, especially if they're burdened by familial responsibilities financially and otherwise. But some form of destruction is going to happen here to push this forward. Wow. Out of 5 cards, you've got 4 major arcana: the World, completion, ending a chapter, beginning a new chapter. I actually think I'm seeing this 9 of Cups of you having some wish fulfillment in your own life, creating wish fulfillment for yourself, bringing you into your divine feminine energy, trusting in what the divine has planned for you, and just continuing to live truthfully in your authentic self, and knowing your worth, nurturing yourself. I think November, there's a turning point in November that brings about the Tower in December. November looks like a month of hesitations and delays, which is fine because that's all part of it. But some kind of destruction is going to happen in the month of December where I don't think necessarily for you it's a tower. You might feel it, just like how now you're picking up that heaviness that they're going through, even though there's nothing going on for you. Something is going to create chaos, or there's going to be some kind of sudden change where I just heard the veil's been lifted. So things coming to light. What's done in the dark always comes to light. So some truths will be revealed to you, some things that might change your perspective as well. But January, hang on, September, October, November, December, January. We got January for timing, remember? Closing out the old and starting anew. And that's also a card of travel. By January, this separation, this confusion will be closed. The world is all about closing cycles and completion. It's not there yet. But 5 months, it really isn't long. If you're focusing on filling your own cup, creating your own wish fulfillment in life, the things that you want to accomplish and succeed at, and just things that bring you joy for yourself, nothing to do with them. Really creating that 9 of Cups life for yourself and achieving that, and the pride that comes with that. But the world is also about achievement. January, I think, is important for not just this person closing out this cycle of separation, but actually relocating. But let's confirm these. 9 of Cups. Page of Cups. Filling your own cup though. I actually think that expect to hear from them soon. They could potentially reach out to you in the month of September or October. And I think you're going to feel that now is not the time. It's almost like a test. You're going to be tested with the temptation of them offering you some kind of love offer that you know they're not ready to. It's almost like repeating a cycle from the past where they came in offering things that they weren't ready to give you yet. They might be doing that same thing again, but this time you know different. You're older and wiser. You don't have your head in the clouds anymore. I think this offer is going to feel like a 9 of Cups, a wish fulfillment, but again, don't take that moment of bliss and fall for it, so to speak. And that's not because they're doing it with ill intent and don't mean it, but your inner knowing, your intuition is going to tell you, no, it's not the right time. And you will put a boundary up, which will actually make you realize, wow, I have grown a lot, I have learnt a lot. Yes, I love this person, but love isn't enough. They actually need to be able to not just make promises, but keep them. And I need to see a change in them. All right, Empress. I think this person's going to come in quite naive with their communication, and it's going to be an opportunity for you to see how far you've come in your own healing and self-worth. Because like I always say on here, what is meant for you will not pass you by. So by rejecting them now, it means that they will do the necessary work to come back in later, January, for in a position where they're actually able to give. 3 of Wands, that's a travel card. You might do some traveling in October, November, but this test of this person coming in, offering all the things you've always wanted them to offer, saying all the things you've always wanted to hear them say, but you realizing that it's not the right time and setting a boundary is going to launch you into your Empress era. It's going to cause you to look ahead in life and realize what you want your life to look like. And you're going to gain a lot of confidence from that and see how much you've grown. And this isn't about being spiteful or vindictive, like I'm going to reject them. You're literally going to be doing it from a place of like, you're not ready, and I don't think I'm ready yet either. Like maybe in a few months, and then lo and behold, January, things have happened that needed to happen, and you're able to reunite. The Hanged Man, 6 of Swords, another travel card. So again, November. So maybe October, November, you plan or got a trip, or you go on a trip in those months. But it's like you're overcoming that hurdle of everything you sacrificed, all the waiting around for this person, all the patience you had for them. You're letting that go and you're moving forward with your life. November looks like a big month for not just travel, but you actually going through a massive release so you can move forward in life and leave that behind. And you're just focusing on the distance ahead, not looking at the time that you think you wasted. All right, the Tower. Queen of Cups. Compassion and warmth, healer, intuition, supportive and healer. I think as well, because in December, I really feel like this Tower is going to be in regards to this person, not you. But I think, again, you're going to pick it up. Just like how we talked about today, you're feeling like crap because you're picking up them. I think the same thing's going to happen here in December. And it's almost like this last surge of horrible feelings before the new beginning in January. The end of the year, the end of this cycle. Have compassion for yourself. In December, if you start to feel really shit and you're just like, what the F is going on? Again, remember this. Remember that it means that something's changing, something's happening. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. The wheels are in motion, things are changing. December, there's a big change happening and you're going to feel it. Nurture yourself, be compassionate with yourself. Understand that energy is a real thing, and it's very normal for twin flame connections to pick up the energy of the other person. King of Pentacles to confirm January. Are you joking? Abundance and prosperity, achievement. That's to confirm the World. Wow. So they're coming in as a Page of Cups, and by you cutting them off, they are going to return in January as a King of Cups. They're going from a page, an immature little naive page, to a King of Pentacles. And this is the thing. This is why it's like you can't always know what's going on. You just have to trust and go with the flow. Because if you were to take that moment of bliss, because they're saying all the right things, but they're still in that page energy, then you will delay this again. But if you see this for what it is and put in a boundary, not only will you grow, travel, become the Empress, gain more confidence and feel the growth within you, but you will then also release what's happened here. And after this tough cycle comes to an end in December, this person's going to return as a king instead of being a page, naive, head in the clouds, offering things that they're not even ready to be able to offer you. Coming in with stability, with growth, with permanence, someone who's reliable, someone that can actually offer you security and stability, not just say they can, but actually embody that and be able to offer it properly. This is also a card of being protective and a provider. And again, for that to confirm the world, closing out the old versions of yourself that used to be in that toxic connection, to be the Empress and the King of Pentacles. Yes, it's not the Emperor and the Empress, but the King of Pentacles is such a good father. He's loyal, he's abundant. And it's not because they need to come in with all this money, but they know that they have emotional stability so that they can hold you without spiraling, which is what the old version of them would be, this page. And they'll be reliable, not someone that will cut and run when things get hard. I can't believe that. It's Queen of Swords on the bottom. If you see this communication for what it is and you set boundaries and you're very logical, yes, it might come across as cold and it might cause this person to get irritated, but again, that will show you they're not ready to take accountability. They're nowhere near the king yet, because if they're getting upset that you're setting boundaries, especially after the damage caused here, you need honesty and fairness in return. So be honest and fair for yourself and see this for what it is, and then realize that in the coming months, you're going to grow. Your confidence is going to grow. You might travel. You're just going to come out of this lack mentality and leave that all behind and move forward in your life confidently and knowing your worth. And then lo and behold, in the new year, your king arrives. Very nice energy. But I feel like you are going to, when this opportunity presents itself, you're going to see it for what it is and realize it's not the right time. And you're going to be very honest. You're going to be fair, and your logic will prevail here with this. I'm seeing someone just, yes, I love you, but I need to objectively, especially if there's distance too, I just can't see this being the right time to start anything. So you do you, I'll do me, and we'll see maybe in a few months. If you feel you still want to do this, then you can reach out, and then you'll find in the new year. If they do the work, then they may. Very nice. All right, let's get a closing message for this. Closing messages for this collective, please. Three of Cups. A toast to friendship in the afternoon sun. 3 cups in happiness. 3 cheers are done. Celebration is near. So that could even be you traveling. You're going to celebrate, or you're going to go on a trip to do with some kind of celebration. But this to me is a message about spending time with your friends, family, enjoying your life. Because it's not the right time. So do things that fill your cup. Enjoy yourself. Have fun with your friends. Do things that bring you joy. Book a trip if you can do that. But I hope that message helped, and enjoy your weekend.